of Action Network. The Men of Action Network is a life coaching system designed to support men's needs towards accurate living. For short, we call it MOAN. Welcome to our podcast.
That part of that field, okay, it may not have enough sun, it may not have enough water, it may require a bit of tilling, it may require a bit of irrigation, it may require some more care, okay?
We wanted to irrigate.
So what he does, right? Because he's thinking about his harvest, which is a part of his kingship, his ID, his identification, he realizes that, okay, these sections over here, they are well kept and they're flourishing. But that side may not be all that well kept. So let me shift from here. Not that I have forgotten about this section, but this side needs nurturing. And because my harvest is tied to that, then I must spend some care over here. Not that I'm ignoring these factors here. It's just that just requires a bit more time, because the end goal is what? Is the harvest.
Right.
Well, again, a king understands his harvest, the value of his harvest, that he must work for a harvest. And I mentioned an integral word in the middle of that. It's called work.
Yes.
Work is not always a job at this place or that place or the next place. Work also is involved in the idea of maintaining and keeping relationships.
Yes.
Active, alive, flourishing. Some people's job is to listen. But in relationship, part of the work of relationship is to take on a job of listening. I.e., job is not something that I normally would do.
Right.
However, because this is the way I'm getting paid or the way I'm getting to my harvest, I'm going to take on a responsibility of, or the work of, listening, hearing, and trying to understand. Trying to promote what is valuable to me, not just in the harvest, but also in the field.
And my value system to identify who I really am is based on learning those different parts of who I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see, then maybe if I value the field, I can also discover who I am.
Right.
As you grow to be a king, coming from a prince to a king, you value the growth.
Because the experience is what changes you.
Right.
Okay, because now
Develops you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, because when the harvest comes and you realize that, okay, I've just left from being a prince into my first step in walking into kingship, because when the harvest comes, that's truly when you realize your worth, right? So when the harvest is complete, I realize that all my fears, all my insecurities, all the bad experience with her puking, the infrequencies, the swelling, and all these things that she went through, and I look at that child that we now have, knowing that I did some things to make that legacy or the harvest flourish. Oh my God! I mean, at that point in time, you discover the man or the king in who you are at that point in time.
Yeah.
When a man realizes he's taking responsibility and then takes that responsibility rather than shirks from it, runs from it, and what have you, that's when he really steps into full manhood. And that's how this topic of spurring trust came about.
Regression.
Okay? Because we have people who are moving backwards when they saw a land which was a good thing. They desired the land, a great thing.
Right.
They saw value in the land, which is what every woman wants.
Right.
See value in me.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of ladies out there who think their value is the size of their butt, size of their breasts, which clothes they have on, which nails they have on. We become very superficial.
Or what clothes they don't have on.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just so revealing that in fact it should become unattractive.
Yes.
Okay, it should, to the man that's going to go somewhere with his life, he should look at that and realize, okay, look, if she thinks so little of herself that I don't have to work for it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to put something in to get or maintain or to have that.
Don't have to wine and dine.
You know, matter of fact, you know what? I don't even need to know your name. Let's just hit it. You know, if that's where you set your heights at, then I can assure you that's not God for you.
And that's what a prince will see. He will see a harvest that's tainted already.
A true prince.
Right. He will see a harvest that has worms, that half the crop is blemished,
Mm-hmm.
half the crop is soiled, half is rotten, and so on. And therefore, I have no need to fully invest in this field.
Fully
at all.
invest? Or I should not invest.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I should not plant seed here.
Right.
Matter of fact, something might go wrong with my plow
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
if I go in that field. You know, there might be too many rocks in that field.
well, you know, this is...
Snakes.
Oh, look at this scenario right quick. A guy that meets this girl, and this guy really don't want to plow that field, doesn't want to seed that field, but she wants him to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and she go overboard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, get naked in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Convincing him to
Yeah.
plow here.
Yeah, spread her legs and open it up with her hands, and she said, "You need to tap on this."
Mm-hmm.
And the prince
Mm-hmm.
is maturing. He said, "No, I don't want to plow that field. I don't want to put no seeds in that field."
Right. Right.
So when the prince does that, he's beginning to grow. However, we hope it's not temporary.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think back to the point of identification. It's hard to refuse what seems pleasurable when you don't know who you are.
Right.
Right. Right.
It's hard to say no when you think that might be your only chance in life.
Mm.
But when you know you have value, when you know you have worth, when you've sat under training and the leader who trained you showed you the value of the field,
Right.
Right.
then you can look at something that's not right and say, hey, I can't waste my time over there.
Yeah.
You know?
Or else you regress.
Right.
Okay, because that's what spurn trust is. Spurn trust is when a boy or a prince who doesn't understand his kingship
Right.
takes a behavior or make an action
Mm-hmm.
for a long-term effect that spoils his harvest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now, you talked about training. When the prince of the boy is being trained,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to be trained by a mentor, somebody he trusts, somebody with experience. So when that is going on, that mentor can lead that prince around those areas where he might be sucked in.
But you see, this is the thing.
I know she fine.
No. He got his nose wide open. And he's like the bull now with a ring nose.
I heard that.
That, you know, you can lead him around anywhere because he's always got the sniff in the air of what he can get.
Yes.
And so now he doesn't need a mentor. He can't listen to the coach. He can't listen to Mr.
Right.
Johnny down the street. He
Yeah.
can't listen to the preacher at the church. He can't listen to mom.
Mm-mm. Can't listen to
And
that.
mom would really be a good person to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Because mom as a woman knows what goes on in the development of a life of a woman that will eventually someday be a mother.
Right.
So she would be a good source of, what'd you say? Okay, hold on. Let me write it down. Okay? Hey, can you be on the phone on three-way and tell me what to say? Because sometimes in our eagerness to get something, we miss the fine print. When you lay with a woman, the woman's not just giving you that piece of tail. She's giving you the rest of the responsibility.
Yeah.
For my eating, for her clothing, for her hair, for all the stuff she want to do. Right or not, fair or not, in her mental makeup, in her social psychological makeup, as designed, she now expects to be cared for entirely by you.
So
Because your future is a king,
Well, but you see, you bought the field.
you know,
You see, when you laid down, you bought the field.
yeah.
and bought a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
bought every tree in that field.
Yeah, yeah.
You bought every snake in that field.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, you didn't realize that you had to meet her family. And her family's a bunch of thugs. You know? You didn't realize that Uncle Nate in jail for murder one. You know, you didn't understand that Auntie Sally is crazy and she just stepped off the funny farm. You know, you don't know what's really going on.
Right.
Right.
You just went after something that was in a tight pair of jeans or, you know.
Ah, that girl was fine.
Yeah, in yoga pants, you know? And now because you got the yoga pants, now you got everything that goes along with it.
That's right. Good, bad, and indifferent.
Or the ugly.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Good, bad, and ugly. Okay.
It's the reality. So I think when we talk about kingship, understanding what the value of kingship is, understanding what going forward, because sexuality, sexual intercourse is always something that moves forward. It is the
Right.
most futuristic thing that a person can do.
So you're looking at legacy.
You're automatically looking at legacy. You're not looking behind unless you're looking at her behind, or she's looking at your behind. But you're looking forward. Sex is the most forward thing a person can physically do.
And there are two aspects of that. It's the impartation and the institution. That
Yeah.
comes in
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
Two things are established.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
Two things are established. So,
Yeah, I get part of her. She
Right.
gets part of me.
right.
Right.
That's the impartation.
That's the impartation.
Yeah.
For the good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah, yeah.
In other words, if she got a drug problem,
You got it.
or if he's got, you know, some kind of sickness, he just shared it with you.
Or better yet, he got several baby mamas out there.
Yeah, and now you just inherited part of that problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Part of that headache.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's that part. But the legacy institution is that covenant is established when you lay down.
Right.
Yes.
And that covenant that was cut, literally, because the uprights were split. Right?
That's right.
Covenant was cut. Okay? And in that place of cutting covenant, seed was planted.
Right.
Okay? The mixture of the seed with the with the egg, or the woman's fluids and his fluids with her fluids, literally means that you've traded blood.
Right.
It
Right.
goes that far.
And you have taken part of her, and she's taken part of you. And no matter what the future brings, no matter which way you go in the future, you're going to always have that part of each other there.
Hence why we talk about the canisters.
Right.
3 canisters.
Right.
One on the left, one in the middle, one on the right.
Right.
One had yellow, one had
Yes.
blue.
Right.
You
When they
combine
mix
them
together.
they
Yeah.
turn green.
Yes.
Like this shirt.
Right.
I'm green.
Right.
Color money.
You push that back out, and the 2 tanks they have green or money.
Right.
But you see, this becomes the issue all along then. Now we have this Jenny who's pregnant, who's looking for Billy, who's longing for Billy, because everything in her yearns for Billy, because she became Billy's.
Yes.
She became Billy's. In her mind, she is Billy's delight.
Mm-hmm.
In her mind, she is Billy's future.
Mm-hmm.
She's his present, you know, and the baby is their future and their responsibility.
Right.
So if you ever wonder why she's so PO'd at you, it's because she's seen it in a whole different way, and you still trying to play junior.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're still trying to play junior. You're still doing juvenile things.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, let's go sit on the Xbox all day. And you don't have any money. You know?
Yeah.
Or you're sitting down and you're not doing the constructive things that plan for a future with her.
Right.
You know? You still haven't popped the question. No, are we going to get married? Are we
25 years later.
You know? I mean, and don't get me wrong. There are people who did not go through a formal ceremony, who remained faithful to each other, who did all the right things towards one another, and then later on, 25 years later, got married. Or 11 years. But I think as advice from us three, don't put seed in nothing you don't want.
Right.
That's true.
That's the key word.
That's
Right.
right.
If you're not going to bring this home to mama
Don't.
and daddy, don't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're not going to like if she gets big and unshapely and all this other stuff, then don't touch her.
Right.
You know, if she's not really your friend, but she's just something to get in, don't touch her.
If she ugly, don't touch her.
Yeah, if you see her as ugly, don't just, you know.
They say put a bag over
You
it.
see,
So they say beauty is skin deep, but ugly is forever.
That's
yeah.
so true. But the thing about it is,
Ugly forever.
the thing of it is that basically, if you do not have feeling for this other person, leave it alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it alone. Because see, you know, we talk about love. Love cures everything, but it don't put food on the table. Okay?
Love don't put food on the table. Love doesn't change anyone.
Never
That's
will.
right.
Never
Never
will.
did and never will.
Love does not change the ingrained fundamental characteristics of who that person is.
Right.
So if you meet a bowling nut at a bowling alley, 20 years later,
You'll
she
be
gonna be
a
wanting to be
bowling
bowling.
Right.
You know, if you meet a movie nut, 20 years later, I saw the movie. You saw that scene? You know, they're gonna still be talking the same old thing, same old.
It haven't changed.
If that's not you, and you got all these different floors on your building, and you know that this is just the basement, then don't do that.
That's right.
Don't build a future institution, okay, to a building 10 years from now that you'll never value or you'll never want.
Or the other way to look at it,
You know?
don't build a 20-year, 30-year, 50-year, 60-year lifetime commitment on a momentary whim.
Yeah.
Yes. You haven't laid the foundation for anything good
Well,
or anything that would last.
Yeah.
then what is your value as a man then?
Yeah.
It all comes back to your value.
What then is your value? Your value first has to begin with your expectation of who it is you think you are and want to be.
Right.
I mean, if you're saying, hey, I'm going to go to college and become an engineer, and you can see yourself designing planes and trains, buses, cars, or new buildings, or laying the plans for new ways to use solar energy or fiber optics and all these things, and you have all these ideas in your mind, and then you meet Basement Betty.
Basement Betty.
Well, that's what she is. You know, she's hanging out at the frat house. She's, you know, always available. She's always in the student center, hanging out. You know, and now you're feeling a little urge.
Yeah.
So Basement Betty's fine. Got it going on.
Basement Betty will keep you in your basement.
Yeah.
That's right. And you will never realize your future.
You won't realize the future. You won't realize
Your dreams.
your nose will get wide open, and before you know it, every other day when you should be studying, you're cutting time away from that to go be with Betty.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen a king that left his palace to go poop in an outhouse.
Thank you.
Now, honestly,
Right.
Yeah.
I have never seen a king that leave his palace, okay, to poop in an outhouse. It's just not compatible. So why would you get someone, whether it be male or female, on that level of life to take you backwards to spoil what your legacy is supposed to be?
So, in other words, the people who invested in you, whether you're in college or in high school or whatever level of life, who believe in you, even before you ever got to Basement Betty or to your Jenny or to whomever else, you're spurning their trust
Right.
in you, their investment in your future, their belief and encouragement and support that they're giving you all along is toward an expected end.
Right.
Someday my son or my daughter, they're going to go to college, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to accomplish this. She has a dream to be a doctor, he has a dream to be an astronaut. Nothing's wrong with those dreams. Those are beautiful dreams, but you have to work towards them. You know what's most distasteful is when I see somebody who has the promise of the stars in their eyes turn around and say, oh, well, school's not for me. Oh, well, education, not for me. You know, people could do what they want to do. You start seeing them change.
Yeah.
You know why they change? It's because they were in bed with Basement Betty.
Yeah. They got around that negative environment.
Yeah, they got around with somebody who's not going nowhere.
Right.
And who has a bunch of excuses to self-justifications
Right.
to substitute for what they should or could would be doing.
Right.
You know? And then you look back and shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know? Then, you know, now I'm 23 and I'm too old to be going to college now. 25, I'm too old to be going to college now. You know? And now you don't want to go back to school and begin again where you left off from.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a real problem when we look at our culture today and we see so many young people like this.
Well, the thing about it is, it is a lot of reasons why the young people are like that. You have one reason you have to look at is that how were they raised? What value system was put in them?
That's true.
You know, the parents didn't put the value system in because they went to the nursery or they hung out on the street or all that. And I hung out on the streets too, but my value system wasn't that good when I was on the streets.
So you married up.
I sure did.
But thank God for the culture of the time, huh?
Yes, but no, I realized the kingship when I was a prince.
Right.
So I had to
Change.
I'd make a decision. Do I want to be a king or do I want to remain a
See,
prince?
but you said two key words there. You said decision.
Yeah.
Everything that we're talking about comes down to decision. Notice I didn't say feelings.
Right.
Feelings should not be making our decisions
Right.
for us. Feelings are there to inform us about our environment so that we can make a decision.
Right.
That's right.
So in other words, I see her, but my seeing her should not inform my lower brain that that's what I should do.
The lower brain.
Well,
Then take that one.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
the worst feeling is losing that thing of value in the house.
yeah.
Explain. You have, let's say, a Rolex.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you're outside, you know, or like an event, and something happened, and it probably got bumped and it fell off. You lose it. Mentally, you can grapple that. Okay, I've lost this watch because it's outside and I can't really track where it is. The worst feeling is when you're in the house and you misplace.
And you know you should know where it is.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know you should know exactly where that is, and you spend weeks and months, and you can't find that thing of value in your own house.
Yeah.
So you have lost your place with who you are. So you have lost your identification.
Yes.
You have lost your impartation, your institution.
Mm-hmm.
You regress back into a state that you're not supposed to be in, and being a foolish king
Ooh.
or a
Ooh.
prince who are making choices based on feelings but not by thinking through what their decisions ought to be.
Right.
And what even worse
Yeah.
is now to not only be displaced within yourself, but be displaced in the arms that you should be able to be in,
Yeah.
or replaced.
Yeah.
Replace.
Displaced is bad, but replaced is worse.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I think we still at this point where we only scratched the surface of this there. But to realize that the way that this came up as a topic, the other important thing that Cleon had said is that it's about where you came from.
Yeah.
The way we got into this topic of spur and trust is talking about the sins of the father.
Mm-hmm.
What did I witness my parents do? What was I eyewitness to? Those behaviors become a substantial part of who we will be.
Right.
Only education and experience will cause us to veer off those courses.
Right.
Else that will set the pattern for your life for the most part. So, if I saw my dad beat mama,
I will beat my mom, my wife,
Right.
my girl.
you know,
That's what I learned.
because that's being a man and nobody can challenge me. Nobody can say anything to me that I don't like, that I don't put down violently and forcibly.